March 23, 2005. 15 people were killed and 180 injured during a series of explosions at the BP refinery in Texas City, Texas. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board launched an investigation into the accident and, in its final report, noted organizational and safety deficiencies at all levels of the BP Corporation.
The disaster 1 decade ago at BP Texas City was the most serious refinery accident ever investigated by the CSB. And our investigation revealed gaps in standards and practices that likely still exist today.
In particular, the CSB report stated that warning signs of a possible disaster were present for several years, the result of a weak safety culture and a deficient process safety management program. And the refinery continued to use obsolete equipment rather than the safest modern designs. The CSB has found that these kinds of problems have continued to lead to refinery accidents in the decade since the tragedy at BP Texas City. For instance, in its report on the August 6, 2012 fire at the Chevron refinery in Richmond, California, the CSB found that over the years, Chevron overlooked many internal recommendations to upgrade piping in the refinery's crude unit using safer corrosion-resistant alloys. Instead, the extremely corroded piping ultimately ruptured, causing a massive fire that endangered 19 workers and sent 15,000 nearby residents to the hospital for evaluation and treatment. The CSB notes that there are currently no federal or California state regulatory requirements that would have specifically required Chevron to consider inherently safer designs or evaluate the effectiveness of safeguards. And in its report on the April 2, 2010 explosion at the Tesoro refinery in Anacortes, Washington, the CSB found the facility's safety culture was a contributing factor in the accident. At Tesoro, refinery management had accepted as normal certain hazardous conditions, including hydrocarbon leaks and fires during startup of heat exchangers in the refinery's naphtha hydrotreater unit. As a result, 7 workers were present on the night of the accident. All of those workers died when a heat exchanger violently ruptured. Again, the CSB investigation found that federal and Washington state process safety management regulations and enforcement were insufficient to prevent the Tesoro accident.
The CSB believes that current federal and state regulations do not focus enough on preventive measures intended to reduce process risks.
Therefore, the CSB recommends more robust regulatory oversight with greater worker involvement and public participation, including development of comprehensive process hazard analyses, documented use of inherently safer systems analysis with the goal of continuous risk reduction to a specified risk target, and analysis of the effectiveness of safeguards intended to control hazards. To encourage these changes nationwide, the board included process safety management reform on the CSB's list of most wanted safety improvements.
It's been 10 years since the terrible accident at the BP Texas City refinery. Industry and government alike should increase their efforts to prevent process-related disasters. Workers, the public, and companies will benefit.